Good morning, boatingbanner.com fans. Captain Larry here with chapter 51, believe it or not. We've come a long way. Okay, we have a real great project here today. Never done one of these before. This is a center console fishing boat. The seat for that for the center console. You see, it's about I don't know, maybe it's almost twice the size of a regular captain's chair. So this will be a bigger piece. We have some nice stuff here. We have a nice French seam running there. This is pleated or quilted, whatever you want to call that. However, the owner does not want the pleats, so we're just going to put this in our regular smoky vinyl, white, off-white, which should look really good in his boat. So there'll be kind of like two pieces here. There'll be this. This is of course removable, removable large cushion. Just has so we'll put plain piping, the boxing, and has a nice base, nice plastic base there. So that should come out really, really nice. And this is an interesting thing. He told me this is for an insert, so it can be used for the captain's chair, and also another place in the back of the boat where there's a piece of plastic that fits in there and holds the seat for movable seats. So that will be nice. What I'm really excited about, this is kind of standard. We've done a few of these already, but we'll have this hole in here. And the thing that I'm really interested in is how are these seams held in like that? So there's got to be some tie down, and I've never done one, so I'm not sure what kind of tie down it's going to be, but that will be fun. And the back is just plastic, so the only vinyl we have to worry about is really this. So should go along pretty smoothly, I'm hoping. We're going to have some trouble with wrinkles. I don't know if you can see, there's already wrinkles in there from this thing, and it's a 1990 boat, so it's been around for a long time. And they still have wrinkles from back then, so the chances of us obviously putting this together without wrinkles is not good. But we'll try, and should be able to do a good job. And even this, the French seam doesn't seem to like lay on an edge. It's kind of a rolled edge, so a little bit of an odd lay there, but we'll just follow what they did and assume it's going to be okay. The foam is in good shape. Really, really feels nice. We did lose some here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a little divot in there, so we'll put some batting on that to fill that up. So it should be a lot of fun. And this is just a single. I'm going to put a double here and make that a little tougher seam. So anyway, we'll get going. Let me pull this thing apart, and we'll get going. Back, everybody. And what I wanted to do is I pulled the cushion part and this backrest part up with all the staples. It was funny, the cushion was used 1/2-inch stainless, and it came out. I'll get it done in, I bet you, 10 minutes. This one here had a combination of just regular staples and stainless, and it was a bear. I worked on this thing for an hour. Please, 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 when you do your projects, don't use regular staples. You really need to do stainless. Anyway, what I wanted to bring you back that made this different than anything I've ever worked on before, I want to show you this. As I mentioned before, what I was really interested in was how were those hold down strips used. And if you can see right here, what they did is they got this big fabric here. It's almost like carpet. Never seen that used for hold down. But anyway, they've got foam, and this foam, and they stuck it in here and stapled it and then put the foam over it. So we'll have to remember that. This is going to be a really tricky assembly. So I just want to let everybody know. Do the same side here, and they've got it up here. feels like it's glued and stapled, which I've never seen before. So you gotta just pull all this foam back, and pull it out, and as you see, the hold down goes actually under this. And then they take and then they put this foam on here. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that. It's going to be a real challenge for us. We got to do these two sides and these two corners. That's how they're held down. And probably here too. Yeah. See? And they've got that held down all the way across by the same method. And it looks, I don't see staples, so it must have been a glued operation. Anyway, just want to show you that. We'll bring you back. Welcome back, everybody. What I wanted to do was put some more identification on all these, and I recommend that for everybody. Where these things join, like I said, I put this with the, I just called this the hole. That's just the liner for the hole. And this is where the seam is on the top. So for this mid plate here, we want the seam to come right here. You know. Also, the other tricky thing you may want to watch is this whole frame, which I called it, make up a name, is where does that end? So we got it right there, so we know this is where it's supposed to fall on both sides. I say we're going to double that up. So I'm adding a couple of inches everywhere I'm going to be cutting off. I'm adding another 2 inches that I'm going to be putting batten on top of this thing, and before I've cut it too short and I wasn't able to. Same thing here, I'm going to add 2 inches to here. So stapling will be a lot easier, and then like I said, we're going to cut it off anyway. So better be a little long than short, trust me. Okay, I got everything all designed and ID'd, and we'll cut out and start making our patterns. Back here, everybody. I wasn't going to do the cushion portion of this big center console seat because we've done a number of cushions and I didn't think there would be anything to learn. However, this one has posed some issues, so I thought I might as well show you this too, and we'll do the entire cushion and the back portion, and then the finish, you'll see the finished product all together. Why I wanted to show you this, I mistakenly thought, since the backrest was plastic, that I looked at the bottom and I thought that was plastic also, the base for the cushion. Well, I was wrong. It was actually 2 pieces of 1/2 inch plywood that made up the bottom. And what they had done is what it is this is the base part where the foam is on top, and on below that they had this ring where the plastic insert was for the seat itself, so the seat wouldn't slide off. Now the problem that they had was, I was not planning on this, but the problem they had was, being this sits on the bottom, what they had done is they had wrapped this ring with this white vinyl. And because it was sitting there like that, wrapped in this, you'll see this ring has totally gone. I mean, it was literally sitting in a pool of water for who knows how many years. Very poor design. And like I said, the vinyl doesn't let the water out, so it just holds it. So this was literally sitting in water for all this time. Also here, now this piece that was the base was in better shape, really didn't have a lot of rot on it, but you see the problem is no hole, there's no way to drain the water out of here. So that's another poor design that I've decided to modify. And so anyway, I'm replacing both of them. I'll show you what I did. Rather than that, I got some exterior plywood, 1/2 inch, and I just traced them and cut it out. And what I did is I put a coat of polyurethane on it, so hopefully to try to keep it a little drier. And what I did on the base part is I drilled 2 holes so that if it does get wet in there, that the water will go through. Also, I'm going to, rather than like this, putting this unbreathable, and does not let the water out, the vinyl on there, what I'm going to use on the bottom here is our standard, I should have had a piece here, but our standard beige bottom cover. And so what we do is we'll wrap this all in that covering. And what that does allow it to it's not white like this, but it's on the bottom, so it really won't be seen. And what it does, it allows the water to go through. So rather than having this wood sitting in water for the rest of its life, that will allow the water to go through and also breathe. So both this and the ring should stay dry. So hopefully, if the owner can keep it dry and not get it too wet, then I'll show you when I'm doing it, the fabric itself. As a matter of fact, I'll put a demonstration together and show you how this holds the water and the other fabric lets it go right through. So let me get that together and I'll bring you right back. Okay, welcome back. This is the vinyl we'll be using. Just our regular standard smoky white. And this is the beige backing I was talking about. And I don't know if you can see it, but that has holes in it. So with that ring, there's some water. And as you see, nothing. So that water just simply stays in there and saturates the wood, and it virtually will never dry out. So that's not a good deal. Whoop. Now we'll take this vacuum we're going to use, and as you can see, the water runs right through it. So yes, it will get wet, and yes, it will stay wet for a while, but it will dry out, and the wood will then dry out. And if you keep wood dry, it will last forever. I mean, ever is a long time, but it will last for a long time. I just wanted to show you that. So this is the stuff we will be using, rather than the vinyl they had on. So and like I said, we drilled a few holes in there, so we'll have a little different setup here. I think it will last a lot longer. So